My name is Deshe Woods. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. I'm born and raised there, went to Renaissance, and then started out my college career over at Western Michigan University, where I got my bachelor's in art education. So I aspire to be an art educator. I love being creative. I love being able to inspire other people to be creative. And so I knew that being an art educator was something I was really passionate about. And I knew that going into art education, I was not going to be able to be paid as much as I would have liked to be paid. So I knew that I wanted to take a different career path that allowed me to be able to inspire other people, continue to be creative, but also allow me to work my brain a little bit, give me more of a challenge. I always tell myself or tell other people that I'm a lifelong learner. So I always love to attain knowledge. I always love learning new things. And so I wanted something to be able to challenge me where I'm constantly learning. And so someone really, just kind of told me hey, I think you should really get into coding. I think you would really like it. And I was like, no, I'm not trying to do none of that. I didn't believe that I had the capabilities to be able to pick up something that was so challenging in my mind. And that person really inspired me to, just give it a try. The worst thing is that you'll be in the same place you are now, not coding. And so I, went on a coding website and kind of did some self-paced coding. And once I picked it up, I could not put it down. It was everything that I wanted it to be. It was challenging, it was creative, you could be innovative, you can pretty much do anything with some code. And so I was I want to see if I can really make a career out of doing this. And so I started doing a lot of research on how to break into tech. I know on social media that's a big thing now too, everybody's trying to break into tech, but I really wanted it to make it a career of mine. And so I started doing a lot of research, trying to figure out what was the simplest way to go into tech. And I saw a lot of people were getting into boot camps where it was a lot more immersive. It was shorter than doing a 4-year, bachelor's program or a 2 years master's program, because I already had a lot of student loans that I had taken out. And I was not trying to take out any more. So I knew I wanted to do something that was kind of a little light on my pockets, but that gave me the foundational knowledge to be able to cross into the tech space and be able to really shine with my abilities. And so I applied to so many tech boot camps. And I will say out of all the tech boot camps that I applied to, maybe one I didn't get into. And so I knew I had the capabilities to, do coding. I knew I had the capabilities to be able to go through a boot camp. But anyone who's been through, who's applied to a good boot camp knows that it is extremely expensive. I mean, it's a big investment. I don't blame them for making it as expensive as it is. I mean, you're basically condensing the time you would have to learn in college in these 14-week, 32-week programs. And I was I need to be able to get into these boot camps, but I don't have the funds to do that. And so I stumbled on this boot camp called Tech Elevator, and they were doing a scholarship for people of color who wanted to get into the tech space but didn't have the financial means to do so. And so I was okay, this sounds good. If I get admitted there, I'll give it a try. Got admitted, and immediately they told me, apply for the scholarship. I think you'll really, it'll really help you out. And so applied for the scholarship, and then ended up getting that email that I didn't get the scholarship. And I was devastated. It was, I had a really strong inkling, intuition that I was gonna get this scholarship, that I was gonna do this boot camp. And to, see them say we won't be able to, fund you. It was definitely disappointing, but I didn't want to let it stop me from, doing it. So I'm calling, up the financial aid department there, and I'm saying, hey, I applied for, the scholarship. I didn't get it. So I don't think I'll be able to do it. I don't think I'll be able to join the cohort, this time around, but if later on down the line I save up some coins, save up some money, maybe I can like self-finance myself. And I really was dedicated to making that commitment. And so I was, they were like, let's see what we can do. And I was like, okay, and let it be that. And woke up the next morning, got a call from someone at the financial aid office, and they were like, hey, just wanted to give you an update on, your scholarship status. And I was like, okay. So I gave them a call back, and they had told me that, you were 0.5 points away from getting the scholarship. You were that close. And we didn't want to leave you out in the lurch. So we have connections with Blacks in Technology. And, I called someone up there and I asked them, were they, I gave them your information, said, hey, is there anything that you can do for her? And they said that they were willing to sponsor the scholarship amount that I would have originally gotten so that I could be able to attend. And I literally said on the phone, you are lying. And she was like, no, I'm not lying. Blacks in Technology were willing to sponsor you. And so, instead of you pushing it back, you're able to start the cohort, this April. So we don't want you to change anything. We need you to go ahead, get your application stuff ready to go, get your registration stuff ready to go. And the amount of joy that I felt, the amount of gratitude that I felt, it was indescribable. Like it's hard to describe in words how somebody who doesn't know you, somebody who doesn't have a real stake in the game, for you to, be a part of that, would be so willing to, see somebody that looks like me, that understands, what it's like for a Black woman to have to, transition into tech. It was just phenomenal, and I will forever be grateful for that opportunity. And I can say from then, I've been able to use the skills that I've learned in my boot camp so far to be able to get a job in tech sales. So I currently work in tech sales right now. And ironically, I graduate from my program on my birthday in December. So it's gonna definitely be a huge celebration come December. Whereas last year on my birthday, I was struggling to get into a tech boot camp, and to be able to graduate in one where they're, helping me out with, career assistance, and they're showing me, and placing me in positions to where I can, meet, companies that are looking for software engineers, and be able to network with other, Black people in tech, because it's not a whole lot of us in there, and representation is so important. Because I was in Detroit, I learned that representation in all aspects of, my life in school, and, government, and, business. I was able to see people that looked like me succeed in all of those aspects. And so I knew that I wanted to be able to make the same impact that I saw, and the same impact that Blacks in Technology did for me. And I want to be able to give that back as well.